Hello, 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 everybody. Good evening. Brown Girl 72. Hey, PG in chat. Number one. You number one, girl. Absolutely. God bless. And Texas Brat Brat. Good evening, PG chat and mods. Much love. Summers Army always. Absolutely. God bless. God bless. Absolutely. And Ruby Rainmaker, number three. There you go, girl. Hello, PG. Hello to you. Hello to you, girl. Lisa, how you doing tonight? Hi, PG. Thought you were going to get some well-deserved sleep. Yeah. Uh, I will. I will. At some point. Right? Some point. I will. I've been up a long time right now, so can't say I'm not tired as hell because I am. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So how is everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? God bless. How you doing, Daniel Lynn? How you doing? Much love and respect at PG. Much love to all of you. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really do. I know I don't say it enough, but God knows my heart. How you doing, Zelda? Says hi everyone. Waving ham. Much love for summer. I love them purple hearts. God bless. How you doing, Rita? Hello, PG mods in chat. Hello to you, girl. Hello. Let me get on down through here. If I call your name twice, it's just because I'm tired. Okay. How you doing, Miss Foxy? How you doing tonight, sweetie? Good to see you in here. Our bucket list has holes. I see you, girl. I see you. God bless. Deputy Sheriff, how you doing tonight? How you doing? Good to see you in here. Oh, that is beautiful. Our bucket list has holes. That is absolutely beautiful. Miami, how you doing? This channel will never stop fighting for justice for summer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is the truth. Sunflower May, how you doing, sweetie? Says hello, PG. Hello to you, sweetheart. Okay, nicely done. How are you doing tonight? Annette, I see you, girl. Pam O'Connor, Diana J. We got Diana H and Diana J. How you doing, Susan? There's Nurse Sandy. How you doing tonight, sweetie? God bless. God bless. Much love. Mountain Mama, how you doing? Sugar Plum, there you are. There's our Tropicana Banana. God bless you, PG. Hello, everyone. Much love and prayers for summer. Amen. Amen. Oh, I appreciate that, Nurse Sandy. God bless. I so appreciate the support for Summer's channel. Absolutely. Love you, PG. Hey, I love you guys too. Absolutely love all of you. I'm going to give you the meme of the night. I'm going to put up the meme for you. Here we go. All right. Right. Wait for it. Just wait for it. Well, we're making our way through. As you see, failed. There you go. There you go. Candace's turn. Come on, Can. You making me look bad. He said, are you trying to interrogate me? I thought this was just for fun. All right. Look like Can. Look like Can was catching on, right? She was catching on. I appreciate it. God bless. Right? Hey, Justice for All, how you doing tonight, sweetie? How you doing? Yeah, I thought you guys liked that one. Right? That was funny. But I do appreciate all the support to keep this channel moving forward. God bless. God bless. Um, I'm gonna move this forward tonight. You know, one of the things been on my mind is why would Candace? Why would she delete messages from 5 years back from the time Summer come up missing? Why would she find it necessary to go into the messages with Jody Sue and start deleting them 5 years back? That's insane. You gotta wonder what the hell, what it had to obviously, she felt it had to obviously obtain some way to what happened June 15th, 2021. In her mind. In her mind. I mean, it could not have obtained to it at all. But in Candace's mind, she obviously felt, that way. So, I just wonder what exactly was deleted. What exactly was the words or how she worded it that she felt it was important. And that's another big red flag, right? Another big red flag. That, she obviously, whatever happened to Summer, Candace, had a hand in it, or she wouldn't feel it's necessary to be, trying to, you know, dot her I's and cross her T's. Obviously, she had felt she had something to hide. And as I said, somehow in her own mind, these messages that she was deleting, she felt had some kind of significance to, something, it would incriminate her. If she didn't do anything, why would you feel a need, or why would you think it would incriminate you to do what she did? Just saying that, it's definitely a big red flag. Yes, I would like to, I would love the opportunity to have seen exactly what the hell had been deleted, but you can't, when something's, I mean, law enforcement can get a hold of it. Sure, they can. They got databases that hold everything. But especially when it comes to text and cell phones and so forth, I mean, you ain't going to do nothing with them that ain't some way to track it. Hardwire phones, other than tapping it, they can't really do a lot with it. But and if they ain't got it tapped, then there's no going back on it. They can only go forward with landline phones, right? But when it comes to cellular, you're screwed, right? Because there's a database just harnessing everything, and all they need's the number, and everything's, or the IP address, and it ain't hard to tell that. They just go off the one you had, and they can see every one you had before that, even if you've changed them, like companies and so forth. So that shit's all in a database. Big brother is watching you. Right? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think it's a big red flag? I do. Put a one in the chat. A one in the chat if you think it's, a big red flag for her to do something like that after her daughter comes up missing. To go that many years back is insane. Yeah, it is definitely a big red flag. That's just another one of those things that, yeah, these are the kind of things PG thinks about, and actually I wear my mind out on things like that. I just have this big need to know everything, right? It could be a blessing or a curse. Sometimes it feels like curse. Especially when stuff ain't letting you sleep, right? And that shit be keeping you awake. It's like, whoa. Like them nut last night. But it's okay. What that nut don't realize is give me a couple cigarettes and a cup of fucking coffee and I'm all good. I'm good. I'm ready to run again. There's a lot of other disturbing things that I found in some of those pictures related to that weirdo. I'm not going to bring it out here. But I will be posting it in Summer's Facebook for other people, for other, for Summer's Army to see. I'm not bringing it out here because it's really too graphic. And it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. But I will be posting it upon her Facebook, but it'll only be posted there. It'll only be posted there for a few hours. A few hours, and then it'll be taken away because I don't want to leave that kind of stuff up. So this freak is back. This freak is back. Hey, dude, I'm not bringing you back up. You ain't coming back up. You need to take a hike. Look, exactly. Go take a fucking hike. You are not coming back up. Law enforcement is the feds are fully right now checking you completely out from head to fucking toe. From head to toe. I hope you know the phrase, feet don't fail me now, bitch, because you're going to be needing to run. Right? Old boy's going to have to run now. He's back trying to come up on panel. No, not tonight. Not tonight. I'm not putting up with the sicko again. He put the word growl in the back chat. Growl. Right? freak, if you think for 5 seconds you intimidate me any way, form, or how, you're so bent, it's unbelievable. You are super fucking bent. You ain't ever, I don't think there's anything in your life you've done that would even shock me. I have seen it all. Nothing shocks me. Amen. Summer's Army is standing strong together. Member for 13 months. God bless. God bless Miss Prissy Pauls. Absolutely. God bless. That is so awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah. Old Davison was back. Old Davison decided he wanted to write in the back chat. Davison is not going on panel again. That son of a bitch ain't got nothing to say that I want to hear. Right? Unless it's where he like to fucking meet me. Dark alley, hopefully. Alone. Right? And that's what I'm thinking, Davison. Dark fucking alley, me and you. You bitch. You don't even know. You don't even know. Motherfucker, you don't know crazy. You ain't even met fucking crazy yet. Damn pussy. I hate people that pick on the weaker human beings, right? I hate that. I don't like it at all. That pisses me off. Hey, did anybody else see White Boy? Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. Hey, White Boy's getting pumped up with it, wasn't he? He was getting pumped up with it. I was like, dude, Tail, what the fuck's that in your mouth, dude? What's in your mouth? I think it was like a puffer or something. It was the box, some kind of medicine box or something. You're like, pooh, spitting it out. What the hell? You want Don Wells to know that you could handle his tic-tac and you know, balls and all at once? Is that the fucking vibe you were sending out, dude? Oh, fuck you too, White Boy. I don't know what the hell that was about. Made me laugh, though. I got a good fucking laugh out of it. He all spitting it across the room. I'm like, ugh. You know, dude. That wasn't a good look for you. That wasn't a good look. That was not tough. That was dumb. I mean, you look like a fucking 5-year-old in the Superman pajamas, right? Jumping jacks. I'm like, what the hell's this dude doing? Right? He all wearing his ass out for PG. He was wearing himself out and doing his punches like he's somebody. I'm like, damn, dude, I seen like 5 times you were open for me to jab you right in the fucking gut, right? The hell? I take you down, bitch, like you wouldn't believe. His shit was all open, right? I would just been like, poop, 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 right? Fucked him up. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All it took. Bitch would have been knocked out. One good fucking uppercut while he was, you know, doing his over his head thing. I'm like, shit. Dude, you got the right name. You got the right fucking name. You know what they say about playing basketball. All right. White boys can't jump. That's what I always heard. Oh no. Oh no. I know us froggy little bitches can. All right. Yeah, he put on a whole fucking Rocky show out there. I was looking for Rocky. I was like, where in the hell's Rocky? What the hell's this dude doing? He just fucking destroyed history, right? I mean, Rocky was like, that dude was like history, right? Running up and down the steps, da da da, you know. Yeah. And this dude went in 5 minutes, man, and fucked my fragile mind up. I like, dang. You just took down one of the greatest thoughts in history and destroyed it, you dumb bitch. Your big ass fucking dickhead jumping around and shit. Like, whoa. He's like, special needs, boom, 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 boom. Domestic violence, boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, I guess you can talk big when you're talking about special needs and domestic violence, you big old kook, right? It was insane to watch. He's got real issues. But it really, he fucking destroyed history. And it was like looking at a great big giant kid in his fucking jammies, right? It's like looking at a big old giant child in jammies, one that hadn't grown no hair yet. I was like, and he's got a box in his mouth, like a fucking 2-year-old too, right? I'm like, somebody get this guy his pacifier. Tuck him into bed. I think he ate too much fucking candy today, right? He had an overload of sugar. Then he got all winded and shit and had to turn it off. He got all winded and shit. He had to turn it off. I was like, what the hell? The dude, you know, he was doing all that stuff. Next thing I know, he was like, had to freaking, you know, get over to the camera, turn it off before somebody noticed. Eddie dumb wore his ass out, right? In like 5 fucking minutes, he wore his ass out. I was like, wow. Crazy. It's crazy to watch these people. Totally freaking insane. Yeah, I'm telling you. I was like, damn. This dude got me rolling. Yeah, he was built like an expired biscuit. That's true. That is true. I'm like, dang. You know, old boy needs some help. Physically and mentally. Right? I had to feel sorry for him. He had to sit down after that and take his blood pressure and his pulse and all kinds of shit. I thought he was gonna fall over. I was like, damn dude, I already got even with you, you know. I already got even with you by you getting even with yourself. Right? You wear your ass out like that and look like such a dumbass, all because of me. What more can I say? What more could I even do? He did it all for me, right? He don't need none of my help. That was hilarious. That's true. Wow. Unbelievable. But you know what's also unbelievable? What's also unbelievable is, you know, Candace, this Mother of the Year, Candace. Look at that. Look at that. A time when she should, any other mother would have been, any other mother would have been in an emergency room with this, right? But not Candace. Candace is, oh, wow, great. You saved me a trip to the emergency room. You saved me a trip to the emergency room. Um, Last time I checked, Jody Sue wasn't a doctor. And, but that wasn't Candace's foot, right? That wasn't Candace's foot, so Candace really didn't care anyway. And that was medical neglect, absolutely. And I'm sure that happened many times, right? I'm sure that happened many times. Man, I'm going to tell you something. I'd be gone to the doctor. I would be gone. Like, I mean, I'd have been gone as soon as I seen something with, kid's foot like that. I'd have been like, see ya. I got to go. Absolutely. That's insane. That's insane. But Don and Candace hasn't done nothing but played games from day one, right? Day one. I also been thinking a lot about that cabin Donald talked about. I kind of feel that because he talks about he did some cabin twice, right? Once he said Summer fell at a cabin. And I'm kind of wondering if that ain't the cabin down the road there that a footprint's found around. And it seemed like, Chad saw Candace down there in that vicinity of that cabin around 4 o'clock, June 15th, 2021. This is way before Summer supposedly came up missing. And she supposedly was looking for Summer because Summer was missing. So, I guess she got the ball. She got the ball of Summer's missing on her way back from what I feel was handing her off to someone, right? And if Donald left his vehicle and his phone at work and took a ride with someone there, he could have met up with them. He could have met up with them. I don't know. I don't think she used Grandis's vehicle to make the transaction. I think she used the Suburban to do that because Donald was adamant that that's where Summer got changed into different clothing on June the 15th. So I don't know. I have no idea. But the other night I was trying to cover the cabin, and it was, the last few nights have been really, really something, right? But when you come in here, you have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know. You bring content, you want to get through it, and but we don't ever know what's going to happen. It's always something, right? Um, Always something, and that's okay because that's where God's taken us. And you know, if God's putting people there and taking us somewhere else, then you know we got to go down that avenues. And you know, for the sake of these missing children, absolutely. And I don't fight that. I don't fight that. I do what I'm led to do. That's how I've always operated this channel and always will. I mean, I feel that God knows way better than PG does, you know? So whatever he's, you know, bringing over here and wanting, wanting taken care of, then that's what we do. If it's praying for people, we do it. If it's, just giving someone a voice, we do that too. Or if it's, um, maybe you got one thing planned and it's, like last night, something totally different. Well, we handle that as well, right? We handle it all. That's the way we handle things. Nothing I can do about that. But Don Wells did. Hey, Jody Sue, I see you, girl. God bless. Much love. Um, you know, Don Wells did mention that cabin, so I'm gonna, briefly replay that because that's something that has been weighing on my mind, and when things weigh on me, um, there's something, I know there's a connection. I just need to put it together right. So it's got to play a part in all of this.
Wish these people would come. Yeah, I wish they would all come together. Yeah.
But those footprints of Summers,
Yes.
that needs to be explained.
Okay, let me explain it to you the best that I can. I talked to TBI about that, okay? So if you come out Ben Hill Road, okay, let me start with the scent dog. They smelled her clothes. We watched. Well, me and Candace sit here and watched the whole thing happen. So they took some of her fresh clothes out of the dirty laundry. The dog smelled it. They took them to the basement door. The dog went straight down the dog trail to Ben Hill Road down there, and the dog circled when it got down there and lost the scent. To me, meaning that she was thrown in a car and driven out of here.
Now, Donald, that's a lie. That's a lie, buddy. Because Ronnie Lawson said the dogs lose scent when they go from gravel to road to pavement, gravel to pavement, gravel to pavement. There's not gravel to pavement on a dog trail. So we already know where the dogs went. They went down the driveway. Why you continue to tell this heinous story, I don't know. And not only that, but the clothing that the dogs were sniffing, you guys had her jacket, you had her sundress, you had her bathing suit, you guys had all these things that she had on that day. All these things she had been wearing. Yet you did not give one of these things to the scent dogs. You go into a dirty fucking basket of clothes, hard telling whose article of clothing you pulled out. We don't know whose it was. Law enforcement don't know either. You have these dogs sniffing what could not even be Summer, and even say, for instance, it was an old pair of dirty shorts or sock. If it was a sock, we know it wasn't Summer's because she just don't wear socks. But she don't even wear shoes. But the point being is, you know, sad eyes. I'm bringing you up. If you want to close camera, you can. Start cam, stop cam. If you want to close your camera, you can close it now before I bring you up. If you there you go. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't come in a lot and I pay, to not, I don't, haven't subscribed. Well, yeah, I subscribed. And when I send money, it's not under set eyes. But that's not the thing I'm talking about. I want to tell you, I had a dream, and I think I talked with you about it way back in the day, or I put a message in. And I did, and I wanted to say I did have a dream. This was a while back, quite a while back, and I had put it also in a chat for Summer. And I saw a little cabin and I saw water. And then the next thing I know, she ran to me, and that was all the dream. But when you're talking about the cabin, I know you have a gift, a very, very beautiful gift. And I believe also what you're saying is so true. Don't let go of that. I really believe what you're saying is really important. Probably the most important thing that I've heard in a while. And that creep that was talking to you, he was such a weirdo. Oh my God. I couldn't believe what I was hearing from this man, and you handled it so well. You took the information, you kept him on, and I'm telling you, somebody needs to investigate that creep. Put a stop to him.
Yeah, but I got a lot of back, you know, a lot of backlash from all of that doing right. It was backlash from um feeling how important it was to get that information for Summer and even possibly other victims onto to this human. There's something definitely ain't right with him. Um, but
Yeah, he sounded like a real sicko. But I'm so impressed with your intuition gifts that you have. You have many gifts, but the gift that God has really given you is that intuition that you do not let go. And I love that about you. I listen to you every night. Whether I come up or not, I listen to you every single night. And when you said cabin, I said, oh my God, this was like months back. I had that dream. I went into where it says Summer's Army chat, and I put it in there. I said, the cabin, and I saw a little like river or whatever it was. I saw water. I saw the little cabin there. And then, like I said, she ran into my arms, and I woke up. That was it. There was no more to be said about the dream because it was just like I sat up and I go, oh my God. When you said cabin, when you said that, you know what? 100% you're gifted. Because why would I have a dream like that and then this is coming up now? There's something
right,
to this. There's something to this. I believe what you're saying wholeheartedly. It's there in front of us. And, I mean, this is bad for me to say, and I'm going to say it, and I shouldn't, but I will. I even felt like a riot, like we demand answers. We demand, we all know who's done this. We all know, and they're free out there laughing, collecting, having a good old time. And you're right when you said they're together only because they have something on each other.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
I even
agree.
I even thought about I really have. I even thought about this, and this is bad to say too, but I'm going to say it again. Oh my goodness. I thought, you know what? Somebody that is around Don and, the way he likes to get high and, think he's all about that. Someday, somewhere, that man's going to spit out the truth. If it's not him, it's going to be one of them. And they're going to be higher than a kite. And there's going to be a fight, and we're going to hear something. But I believe that was the pass off place, Fiji. I really do.
I do too. I
Um,
think that I yeah, yeah. It definitely was something. It has something to do with all of this. I'm not completely sure. I'm not completely sure yet. I
but you have that
mean,
intuition, and it's not leaving you for a reason. It's not going to leave you until you figure it out because I know how you are already. And I know you're not going to stop until you find that out. But I believe in my heart that's what it is also.
oh
And I
yeah,
know you're very, very close. You're so close. And everybody that's with you, they're all praying for the same thing,
amen.
justice. And we want to get justice for her. We want that. And it's not going to be let go until the day. I know how you are already. I can see it. And you're not going to let go until it's done. But
No,
it's but
I'm
it's
not
going
going
to
to let go. I'm not going to let go till summer's found.
and it's going to be done. Believe
All
me.
I all I want, all I want is summer found. All I want
Yes.
is to know, to know that she isn't in pain any longer, that she isn't in misery any longer, that she isn't going through hell on this earth no more. I want to know that she really truly is in the arms of an angel. Her suffering and pain is over with these fucking worthless ass parents.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I just want to know that she has been laid to rest properly, like the little princess she is,
Absolutely.
and that her brother and all the humans who love her and truly care about her have a place to come and let her know how much they care and put flowers upon her little grave.
And that would be so beautiful. That will be the day that all of us that love her. I don't even know her, but I love her. I didn't ever hold her hand or hold her in my arms, just in my dream. And she smiled and she was happy. She hugged me. She ran to me. And, it's because she's been in my heart. And I have a very strong love for children. Just so that you know who I am, I have a very strong love for children. I mean, I've taken care of so many children in my life that have needed me. And I wish I could do more. I'm up there in age, and I wish I could do more. But I've done the best that I can. And from a distance, I love that little girl. And I know that when she is found, it's going to be through your channel. You better believe it. It's going to be through your channel. God has showed me so many things about you. I love the way you talk. I love your honesty. You know what? You don't let the grass grow under your feet. You say what you have to say and you mean what you say. I love that about you. That's awesome because you know something? They know Candace and Dawn and Grandis, the old bag. They all know damn well. that you're close. And they're shaking. They're shaking. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, she's on the track. Yeah, she's on the track, all right. She's been on the track. She's known from the beginning what yous are about and where
Right.
you come from. And, and one day you were saying something, and I felt like calling and saying, tell Candace to move down the tramp, because she doesn't love Don no more than the man in the moon. She moves too quick for me with men. She's too fast. She drops
Absolutely.
him when he's in jail, just like a hot potato. But she's sticking by him. For why? Because
Exactly.
they have something on each other. That's why. And that Grandis has her damn nerve not to say something. That's her grandchild. What is she afraid of? She had her hands in that dirty pot too.
Uh-huh. Yes,
And
she
when they
did.
and when they said they were planting flowers, how in the world did they expect a little girl to plant cactus? Those weren't flowers. Those were damn cactus.
That's true.
Another,
Absolutely true. Love it,
another thing,
Scorpio. I'm bringing you up, hon.
another thing I was concerned about. Did they ever do DNA on that mattress, that filthy thing that they slept on?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so because they were scared to death to touch that bitch.
Yeah, I
I
heard.
heard. I heard when they came in there, they were honestly and seriously wearing hazmat suits. I
Damn.
mean, hazmat suits in fear of because they had fleas, and I guess fleas and ticks and all them animals and stuff, and they also had scabies and a lot of other things. I don't know how true, but supposedly infested with bed bugs and things like that, and you know they was wearing
Damn.
they actually they wouldn't even go in without the suits on.
Those are some filthy people.
Right. But law enforcement has to protect their health. I mean, it's sad, and that alone speaks volumes to how disgusting that house was.
Well, the
I'm
question
sure
everybody has, why did they? I mean, I'm not putting, the social service thing off down or anything, but I'm wondering why in the hell did they not arrest them for what they've done to these kids, or at least way back in the day, take them out of there?
they basically what happened was the Wells basically signed their rights over to the state to avoid prosecution.
And I
That's what
think you were
that's
right.
what they've done.
And I think you were right when you said this, and this is stuck in my mind, that that little girl had been touched by Don, and there was evidence. There was evidence, and he was shit scared that when social services went down there, that he was shit scared that they were going to find out that something happened to that little girl.
I truly do believe that that is a very great possibility that
Mm-hmm.
yes, he was doing
Essay.
such things to that child. Absolutely. Um,
And Candace knew.
I think Candace did. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
know
she
she did.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way she played it off with Ernie, oh my God, oh my, no, bitch, you knew because Jody Sue was there when that baby needed a towel. That baby needed a towel and clothing put on it, and Candace's big ass was not doing a damn thing. And Jody Sue seeing, this sick bastard in the background, coming out of that shower um, as well, and not only did Jody Sue witness that disgusting sight, but True, Allie's daughter, also had to endure seeing this kind of disgusting things going on within that household. And not only did she see it, but also Jose. The whole reason law enforcement came that night was due to the fact that Jose, whatever he was hearing or seeing, and it was probably no, daddy, no, and he got her tail and he wanted her and was demanding Candace get that baby out of there or he was going to go in and do it himself.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. Right there was a witness.
So Candace was of full knowledge that this was going on because Jose was making her do it and done told her if she don't, he would.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for someone to be in that kind of frenzy to get a child out of a shower like that, it wasn't just, a kid jumping in with dad, splashing around and hopping out. It was more going on than that for sure for this man to go up in the air and demand this not happening.
Not on his watch. It wasn't going to happen. That's what it sounds like
Well,
to me.
what I'm saying is he had to have seen or he had to have heard something going on to want her out of there ASAP and ready to fight because of whatever went on. And on the 911 call, you could see that Donald was kept trying to go at Summer for some reason because then Summer's hollering, help me, mom, mommy, help me. And then Candace also admits on the 911 call that he hurt Summer. He's always trying to hurt Summer. Now, yeah, I do believe he's a monster. I really do believe Don Wells is a fucking monster.
Right. You
And
can look at his eyes and you can see it.
disgusting, and there has been so many witnesses to this, and even more so, Mary and Jeannie and another young lady was on the lab tonight, this evening, and Chris McDonough was there as well. I did stop in. I did listen for a bit while I was cooking dinner, and yeah, I had to do that as well because my kids have to eat. And
Absolutely. Something
and
Candace never did.
Candace, Donald, just to let you know, I haven't had no sleep since fucking yesterday morning when I woke up.
Oh,
So,
girl. Oh.
so I'm going this long. And let me tell you something, you two mangy fucks. I stood up in the kitchen this evening. Well, I fixed breakfast and lunch today, right? And then I had to stand up in the kitchen tonight. And I'm going to tell you, my children had spaghetti, right? Garlic bread, salad, right?
Right.
And they
Like,
and I made sure that I fresh strawberries, whipped topping. Those Wells kids, these fucks. I don't think these fucks have ever. Candace don't work at all. She didn't run a whole household. She didn't cook breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner. She done nothing. She done nothing. And
and
then
evidently she didn't even give it to him.
you know,
Evidently he was getting it elsewhere. Sad to say.
And do they keep chips laying around the house? Do they keep, you know, potato chips and all kinds of snacks around the house for the kids to snack on in the evening? Do they keep lunch meat and bread and stuff in the, in the refrigerator and cereal so the kids could have, a sandwich before they go to bed or a bowl of cereal before they go to bed, some snacks before, no, no. Matter of fact, they went to a vigil where someone wanted to give one of the children a balloon or something, and Candace had a fit and told the child, you know, the kid was scared to take the balloon. The lady even went back and said, "Here, go ahead." And the kid was like, "Lady, what are you trying to do? Fucking get me to disappear too?" Right?
Wow.
My parents are fucking crazy. Are you trying to get me hurt? I mean, when let me tell people something out here. Let me educate humans out here in this world. When a parent says no to something for their child, do not pressure it. Do not proceed any farther. Do not try to go behind their backs and hand it to you. You ain't hurting no one but that child. That parent will take it out on that child. They will grin, smile, bear it, and then blame it all on that child and abuse that child. Just, if the parent says no, it's no. Say, oh, okay, well, I just, was trying to be kind. Um, God bless, have a good day, and walk on. Walk on because you do not want that child feeling the wrath of anything.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of bitch Candace Wells was. Now, if you was going to hand that kid something that fucking whore thought she could sell on eBay or the internet for some money, she would have let you give it to the kid. If you was going to hand a kid a $20 bill, oh yeah, that would have been acceptable, but not a balloon.
And then
Because
she would have took it from him. Then she would have took it from that child. Did you hear anything about? Now, I read this on one of the chats that Mr. Wells, Donald, had questioned if Summer was his back in the day, and then he beat the shit out of Candace.
Well, let me tell you, no, I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't doubt that Donald, ain't the type of bastard to make himself feel better by saying, you know, mommy's baby, daddy's maybes. It might make him feel better to think that, Summer didn't belong to him with what all he was doing to her, right?
Okay,
Um,
yeah, makes
but,
sense.
look at him with the stepsisters, right?
Right.
Um, and what's really sad is when I was listening to the stepsisters, um, and the lady that was on panel on earlier tonight, listened to her say, um, Chris says something about you guys, you feel you're telling the truth and all of this, and she said we are telling the truth. What have we got to gain by all of this? And she said, we've only told a fourth of what exactly happened because we're too damn embarrassed. You know, he violated them and shamed them and and took away their dignity so bad that they can't even there is things this monster did that these women, grown women now, cannot feel that they cannot express because it was that heinous. So just imagine what Summer was going through. Just
Mm-hmm.
imagine Don Wells feels that he has a right to just violate anyone he wants to violate in any way he wants to violate them, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Don doesn't look at people as humans. They're objects.
And he
Right.
treats them as such. And
And that's the
Yeah,
scariest
yeah,
kind of
and
person to live with.
he felt Don Wells thinks that he owns people. He
Mm-hmm.
thinks that um, he tries to put a label on them, right? He tries to put a label on them,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you know he's 19 at this time. These two little girls are 12 years old, and he is 19 years old. He is a grown ass adult. He is an
Mm-hmm.
adult man when he violated these two particular women, young girls. They weren't women, they were young girls. They were still children at the time. But, you know, what's really sad is what's really, really, really sad about this whole situation is that they are grown women now, right? These women are, I guess, they're up in their 40s, 50s now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they're still having a lot of difficulties telling about, being graphic about how heinous this monster was, how
Mm-hmm.
aggressive he was,
Mm-hmm.
exactly how inappropriate he was in what he was doing to them, and that's disgusting. That's
PG,
disgusting.
when you're done, I just want to go back to what you said in your earlier live because it hit home with me. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want you
I
to know what's
know
coming.
Rhonda, she made a mistake. Rhonda made a mistake. She thought he was 17 years old because she thought he was 5 years older than her. But then, Mary corrected her because Mary and Donald are the same age. And once Mary corrected her, then she understood that no, he wasn't 17. He was 19 when he was doing that to them. This is after he went to jail and had came back.
He's sick. He's a deviant. He will always be a deviant.
Right. And then he wanted to say that, Jeannie called him and was asking him to come back. She wanted him to come back. Um, I don't believe that. I mean, I really do not believe that. Um, early on, people didn't know what to believe, and early on, the only thing I knew was, that case was taking the focus off of Summer when Summer needed the focus to be on her,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because she was, time is of the essence, right?
Right.
When
Yeah.
a person goes missing, time is I mean, the clock's working against you,
And
and
she's
she needed
a
all the
vulnerable
focus on
5-year-old.
her at that particular time, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all I could think of at that time
Mm-hmm.
was, we ain't got time for this. We've got to, keep everything on her. We need to find out what happened to her. This is a fresh case, and we need everything we can get right now in order, if she still is here on earth, we need to get to her as soon as we possibly can before she isn't no longer with
Mm-hmm.
us. So, that was my thinking, and that was the right thinking. That was logical thinking. Um, I'm not saying that the Utah case was not important. I think it is very important, and I think it is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
To Summers' case,
Mm-hmm.
as in giving us insight on Don Wells' character,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
oh,
mean,
yes.
Absolutely.
his
Yeah.
character is going to give you a lot of answers to what happened And it's such a tragedy as this with Summer.
How do people that defend the wells, and they're entitled to defend them, right?
Right.
We live in America, we all have our freedoms. But knowing what Don has done, regardless, present, past, future, he was an sadistic man.
Yeah.
And I
He is.
don't understand. And even Candace with H. You can't
Right.
tell me you can just brush that away and just go gloss over it. They're the best parents. We stand by them. We don't know if anybody did anything. We don't know what happened. And that's fine. But look at what they've done. They're they are literally the lower of the low. And they've done that to themselves. Nobody's done that to them. They've done it to themselves. I would
Absolutely.
love to know why people take up for them. I want to know the psychology of these people that take up for them.
Because they're stupid asses. They can see the truth. It's right there before them, but they want to be their heroes. That's what they're trying to do is, oh, we believe in them. We believe in them. When it comes down, God forgive
See,
them.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you now. They don't believe in them. They do not.
I don't think so.
If we are talking about, Miss Daisy,
Hmm.
Miss Daisy, I'm going to tell you, um, the Wells is not her hero, and she is
Yes, and it's
not
not
trying to
just
save,
Daisy.
and she is not trying to save them motherfuckers any way, form, or how.
Hmm.
Let me tell you that now.
She's
You
trying to get
know,
information.
Miss
She may
Daisy,
even be writing a book,
Miss
for all we
Daisy
know.
ran here last night. Miss Daisy, along with many other people who truly, I thought that Miss Daisy, I was one that thought that Miss Daisy turned on Summer as well. And I'm not going to lie, I was plenty upset and pissed about it.
Hmm.
And
A lot of
no, I
people
don't,
are.
I don't condone her supporting the Wells in
I
any
do
way,
not.
form, or how. But I'm going to tell you, she ran over here to support Summer.
Hmm.
You know, Candace and most of all, Miss Daisy got a wake up call
Hmm.
by Summer's own mother, because Daisy tried to get Candace to come and confront this man,
And she
you
wouldn't
know,
do it.
and no, she let everybody know she's busy fishing, and she's got time in her busy fucking schedule
Hmm.
to do a damn thing for her daughter.
Trying to cover
And
her
So Miss
and
tracks
Daisy
again.
got a wake up call, but even though Candace wasn't coming, Miss Daisy did, and she came up on panel, and she had it out herself with that man. So I'm going to tell you, that lady does. She does. Somewhere deep down in her heart, she
I
does
agree with
care
that.
about this little
I
girl.
agree with that, PG. And you know what? The thanks Daisy is gonna come to get for coming up there and trying to interject with this devil, from the Wells. Nothing. She's gonna get absolutely nothing from the Wells for sticking up for Summer, and
I don't
that's
think she was going to get anything anyway.
She's
I
not
think
the
they
Wells.
played
The
her. I think they
Wells.
played her.
The Wells are using Miss Daisy,
I know.
Absolutely.
and they're using her. They're
That's my
using
point.
her people for their support,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and financial support.
Yep.
And the minute that Daisy and her chat get tired of supporting them two bastards, when there's nothing else in it for Don and Candace to get from Daisy and her people, they Daisy will get a real look at what Don and Candace is really about, just like Kathy the friend did,
Oh,
just
all of
like
them.
just like Cam and Allie, just
Mm-hmm.
like Benny Keys, just like Cher, just like, everybody else that they have used up,
Yep.
chewed up, and
Uh-huh.
spit the fuck out, right?
That's right.
It
I
That's
is
right.
just
what
re-
it is.
I just
You
really
know,
I don't know when Daisy's gonna wake up to this fact because we all know it's coming, right? It's not
Hmm.
it's no
I tell you
mystery.
what burns Don and Candace's asses more than anything in this world. What burns their asses more than anything in this world is they didn't get to fucking use abuse, chew, or spit out PG.
Mhm.
PG went in there like a fucking boss,
Mm.
Mhm.
right?
That
Mhm.
lion.
I walked in there like a fucking boss,
Uh-huh.
and I freaking
Good.
seen everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, I motherfucking spit them bastards out
That's
and
right.
walked the fuck off and said,
Mm.
listen, I'm exposing your asses for everything you fucking are and then some
Mm.
because I'm not here for you. God put me here to support you with your daughter. You are not with your daughter. You are not with your daughter any way, form, or how, and I don't support that. I support her.
Right.
That's right.
You never once walked in there going, "Hey, John and Candace, I want to be your best friend." No, you
Hell
walked in there,
no.
go, "I know you
Hell
didn't.
no.
I know
No.
you didn't.
Absolutely not.
I want these people to understand where you came from. You went
When
in
I
there
went in
saying,
there,
"Where
I
the hell
told
is
Don,
Summer?
when I
Where the
went
hell
in there,
is
I
Summer?"
told Don Wells, I said, I do not know why God put me here. I do not know,
But he
but we'll
did.
find out.
But he did.
Because he was saying stuff like, he was saying things like, you're a really good friend. Um, and him and Candace, we really like you, sissy, and things. And I told him, I said, listen, don't get attached
Right.
because God put me here, and I'm not, I don't know why, and I don't know why. I don't know if if it's really to support y'all or not. So don't get attached. I mean, I was on the level with them from day one. Day one, I was
Mhm.
on the level with them because I didn't know why God had me there. I was hoping that it was to support two parents who lost a daughter and was just catching a lot of hell from a lot of people that, a bunch of haters. That's what I wanted. That's what I was hoping for. But like God said, a ways down the road of seeing all these things, He said, look, you've seen the truth. You got to face that truth. You can't
Absolutely.
keep, what you want and what is two different things.
That's
So
right.
P,
And
so P,
and God's always right, right?
yes.
God's always,
Absolutely. His
P,
I
eyes miss nothing. His eyes miss nothing.
PG.
I kept trying to make excuses for him. I really
Yeah,
did. I
that's
kept
what I
trying
want to
to.
ask you. I want to ask you, do you think in the very beginning that people were going in on you because you were supporting the Wells at first,
Not I.
Uh,
or they didn't realize you were there really for Summer?
no, I think what happened. See, when I wasn't on no panels when I was in the background hoping that these parents were innocent. I
Okay.
was in chat. What happened was, as I was
I
going
want you
in,
to tell your story, PG.
I was going into the chats, different chats that were saying really bad stuff, and um, and I was actually, I it was actually, yes, I did stick up for him. Why are you guys acting like this is people that lost their kid? You
Mm-hmm.
know, at that time, it was at the beginning, early on. Even my gut from day one said parents, but my
Uh-huh.
head didn't want to, my head didn't,
Want to
my
connect to
head
your
and my
heart?
gut wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I, I, I knew it. I already knew it, but then I seen these church people and, being a Christian, you got to give other Christians an opportunity, right? I mean, and not only that, but I was so tired of everybody, it always being the parents, like every
Yeah.
case, parents, parents, parents,
Yeah.
like one time you just want it not to be the parents.
Yeah.
And this was the time I didn't want it to be the parents.
And I'm
So,
with you on that.
yes, I was trying to make provisions. I was trying to say, hey, these people go to church. They were taking these kids to church, you know. Um, maybe they ain't the best people in the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we were just getting to know who the Wells were. And but when I, once I figured out that, you know, what they were doing, you know, keeping the focus on other things to keep it off of them, throwing everyone under the bus, and running people around the mulberry bush 10 times with the same bullshit, not ever wanting to speak or talk about Summer. Um, and I even made an excuse for him there. I said, maybe they don't know how to describe her. Maybe they, this is something, maybe they have an issue expressing themselves. Um, you know,
You gave them
in a
the benefit of the doubt, PG. That's what you should
way,
do.
and I even thought, so I even wrote up some stuff for Donald. What if I was a parent? What would I say? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that maybe if he read a few things and got the hang of being able to speak easy.
Mm-hmm.
um you know it might open the doors up so he could really come out and him and Candace and prove their innocence, right?
Yep.
And so I even went to those lengths with him, right?
Yep.
I went to those lengths with him. And what does he do? What does he do? He has somebody else reading. I think it was Benny Keys reading what he told Benny he wrote it. He didn't. But Benny's reading it and he's fucking wiping his ass or something on a fucking toilet, and all fucked up and messed up. And I mean, it was like Benny sitting there like, what the hell's going on, dude? What are you doing? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to shut up my life down. This is not working out. What I'm saying? It was freaking hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I was rolling. I was just rolling. I thought that's the funniest damn thing I ever
But
saw
now we
in
know
my
that.
life.
Now we know that's Don's defense.
You know,
That's how
he
Don defends shuts down the conversation. He does something lewd and crude, so you can't move forward. That's Don. You can't get an answer from a man shitting on a toilet.
Oh God.
I
That's
mean,
pretty funny.
it cracked me up. It did. And no, you want to know what I got out of all of that? It's this guy wasn't about talking about his daughter. He wasn't.
Right.
What I learned from doing that was you know basically what I did is I set Don Wells up. I set him up. I gave him two different writings.
You exposed him.
Two different writings. The first writing, he tried to keep himself proper, decent, and pull through it. And that made me think, okay, um, okay, I'm on the fence. I'm on this fence, and I don't know.
What side
I'm
to go
still
on?
not sure. I'm still not sure if he just doesn't know how to speak about his daughter, or he really is just trying to, he's
Distract.
really just trying to keep from doing it because he's got something to hide, and that is what he's wanting to stay away from. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave him the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I learned, oh my gosh, this motherfucker does not, no, it's not that, it's that he doesn't know how to express himself and speak of his daughter. He really fucking isn't even interested, and being not interested like that showed me that I was completely right when with my thoughts of you're wanting to put her in the dark, fade her into the background,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
and act like and try to keep the focus away
Yeah, distract,
you know,
distract, distract.
from
100.
this from the very topic that can get your ass put into prison.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So from there, I decided that okay, I'm going to do a lot of listening, and I did. I listened to how hey sissy, I've been thinking about um getting a divorce, and to get the reward, because I ain't going to be able to get the reward if I'm married, right? And I said, what?
Really?
Damn.
Yeah,
Really?
that's what.
Really?
Wow.
So he was after the reward?
Yeah, he said that he wanted me to find out if he could collect a reward, and I started laughing. I started actually laughing because I
Holy
didn't really
shit.
think that this guy ain't that fucking stupid. I said, what are you talking about? I said, listen, man, you're the parent. You can't collect that fucking reward. Are you crazy? You know, parents
It's
can't.
Damn.
always about it's
You're
always about the
not
money.
going to collect no reward. They don't give parents the reward. If you know something, being a parent, you were supposed to just tell it, right?
And a parent that hasn't even been cleared.
And
Damn. I tell you, that is mind blowing.
Yeah, it
That
this
is.
is
is
mind blowing.
this is the shit. This is the stuff that he wanted. He wanted that Dom Wells wanted other people to check into, like Utah. He didn't want to, he didn't want to use his cell phone and his shit to find out, if this could be held against him, right? Uh,
Right.
Due to the new laws that were implicated. He wanted, you know, someone else to look into that. See, and I wasn't the only person that he asked to look into this, because I'll tell you why. He heard it from someone, but he wanted me to 150% verify it because he didn't trust what they were saying, right? He didn't trust what they were saying. Um so, you know, he wasn't, he was intimidated because, but once he found out, um by the best lawyer, the best attorney in Utah, the most highest priced attorney in Utah, that, that statute of limitations, um, you know, carries over because it was implicated at the time that all of these occurrences took place. The new law that they put in, it can only move forth. It can't, it can't cover up the old law at all. So once he knew he was in the clear, that became his number one topic to keep Summer in the dark and the focus off of her. And when people started saying, we don't want to talk about this, we want to talk about Summer, tell us something about Summer. Um, then Donald would, you know, be in a pinch, and he would throw the same people who law enforcement done told him, look, dude, we have checked them out, and they're, like Dudley. He knew Dudley, they had a solid alibi for June 15th, 2021. He knew that Mr. Dobbs had a solid alibi for 2021, June 15th. He knew that the yellow car was just speeding, but it had nothing to do with Summer's case whatsoever. But yet he was throwing these things and throwing these things and throwing these things to take the attention off of him and Candace, because they were scared to death. Donald really wanted to shut everything down and just,
Mm-hmm.
and let this case go
Fade
away,
away. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go away, so that,
Yeah.
so that they could feel safe of not going to prison over it.
Yeah.
But he said, sissy, that damn fucking dumb bitch Candace has got a bunch of money coming in, a bunch of um, um, gift cards and cash apps and all of this money flowing in, and she's pressuring me, to she's pressuring me to not let it shut down. Candace was pressuring Donald to
Mm-hmm.
Right,
keep it
right.
going, so that she could continue to get all that money and stuff.
And I have heard Don, in honesty, all honesty, I have heard Don say he doesn't want the money. He doesn't want the cash apps. And I actually believe him. And it's always been,
He didn't want none of that shit. He just wanted this to go away
yeah, yeah,
because he just wanted it to go away because he didn't want to end up in prison over it.
right. And she
And
kept
and
feeding,
he and he
and Candace kept feeding the gravy train.
and Candace still is.
Right,
And Donald knows that Candace is going to get him put in prison.
right.
Don Wells hasn't been out here on YouTube in 2 months, right? I mean, he hasn't done no lies. He hasn't, really been out here in
Only
two
with,
months,
only with Chair.
right? And the point being is, Donald knows that law enforcement is diligently seeking every avenue they can to put bracelets on them three.
Mm-hmm.
For June
Well,
the
one
15th.
of them better speak up because they're
And,
ready to go down. They're ready
and
to go down.
and Donald knows if Candace continues to run her mouth and show her true colors, like for instance last night, not coming to the rescue for her own child. You
Right.
know, this right here is a big red flag, right?
Yep.
Oof.
I mean, she's going to stay fishing in the dark. Um, why? Because she already knows what happened to her daughter. She doesn't give a fuck,
No.
right? She's
She would
moved
have
on
been,
with her life.
PG, if she gave a crap, she would have been up on your panel in 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
She knows she's close. She knows she's close. It's almost a done deal. And they're both
um,
shitting their pants, wondering who's going to tell on each other first.
well,
They're not
you
gonna.
know, they done told the story, but law enforcement, you know, I'm gonna tell you when Don Wells should have worried. I'm gonna tell you when he should have worried and when he needed to shut down. Is when TBI said, "Mr. Wells, did you traffic your daughter?" They had something very solid right then and there, and they pretty much knew that's what happened. And they're
Mm.
going to damn prove it. They're going to damn prove it.
I
Mm-hmm.
wonder
And
if they drugged her up, drugged her up. Yeah, so she wouldn't, be seen in the car or vehicle. Put some drugs in her, put her to sleep,
Yeah,
did what they
Summer's a
did.
fighter. Summer was a
oh, I
fighter.
appreciate that, Carrie. There it is. Hey, Carrie, I appreciate that, hon. God bless. God
Thank you,
bless.
Carrie.
I absolutely appreciate that, hon. I do.
Summer strong, justice for Summer, for sure.
Absolutely.
Prayers
Absolutely.
up, prayers up. Continue the prayers, everybody, because we need the prayers. What's about to happen is going to come, and it's going to come quick, and we're
Mm-hmm.
ready for it. Dawn and Candace, you're busted.
Amen.
Busted.
Amen. You
We've been
know,
waiting.
I heard that there was a conversation between Don and Candace on how to get some more money. She said, "Hurry up, Donnie. I can't hold this fake ass face forever."
True. It's so true.
I gotta show this Miss Daisy so she can put my cash app up.
Yeah. You go, Daisy. Real smart.
Something wrong with the tire. There's something wrong with the tire. I need a new tire. That'll
We
be
need
fine.
oil, we need gas, we need
Yeah.
tires.
Another $460, please.
And Daisy goes for it every time. That is so freaking
does.
funny. She's
It
like,
is
oh, okay.
incredible. It's so incredible. I
I think
mean,
it's stupid.
it's
She's
the
absolutely in the dark.
she's gullible.
Yeah, she sure is. That woman
Hmm.
has somebody that's going to have to wake her up. And you know what? She's not going to get woken up completely until she gets a smack across her face.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to have
Exactly.
to wake her up and say, Daisy, this is it. We're tired. We're really
Well,
tired of you being
yeah,
used.
PG said it great. PG said when what she did to Kathy is gonna
Smack the shit
exactly
out of her.
happen to Daisy, and it's I agree with that 100%.
And it is. It's happening right
Yep,
before her eyes
yep.
because she saw something last night that she'll never forget. And that's
Yeah.
somebody saying, What's up?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it, though, with all my heart. I believe it. I believe there's something to do with that cabin. I'm going to stick by it. And I know PG has a gift, and I know she saw something, and it's not going to be let go until the truth comes out. It's there.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
there.
know. I felt it. When she said cabin, I said, "Oh my God! Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow! God's really given her a gift because
Summer
she
will
is.
be found.
Oh yeah,
Summer will be found.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And a gift
Mm-hmm.
from God.
Too many prayers going up for that not to happen.
Yep.
Every night, every day. Lord,
Amen.
show us where
Amen.
she's at. Father, your eyes miss nothing. Your eyes miss nothing. And we know this. And he gives
Mm-hmm.
us a gift. And that's what he gave to PG. He gave her a gift. And that gift is very, very beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
I 100%. You girls, I got to go because family's calling on me.
All
I,
right, sweetie. I
okay.
appreciate you coming up, love.
Oh,
Thank
yes. God
you.
bless you guys. I love you guys. And prayers up and go strong. And we're going to get justice for Summer no
Yes.
matter what. God's eyes miss nothing. And our prayers are in the heavens, in the justice court in heaven, the highest court we can go to, like I said before. And
Amen.
and we're ready. God bless.
Amen.
Love you guys. Talk to you
Amen,
soon.
sister.
All right, sis. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
God will have the last laugh. And,
God bless,
and
sweetie.
yes, and PG, what I wanted to say was the conversation that you and Jody Sue had last night was amazing. It really was.
Yeah.
I think Jody Sue needs her voice out there, not just on her channel, but on other channels that believe her. I personally believe her. I don't care if she has me blocked. I believe her.
I'm glad to see Jody Sue unloading. I'm
Yes,
glad to see that, I'm glad to
yes.
see that, she is,
She's
I
done with
think,
them.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. She is.
Mm-hmm.
And, and
And
even Jody Sue rushed here last night
mm-hmm.
for
She
little
did.
Summer. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but I always suspected that Jody Sue acts a lot harder than what she truly is.
Yes,
I,
yes.
I always thought she had this, that she had she's not as hard as people think.
No, she just
You
has to
know,
be to get through her life.
well, that's the way she's had to be.
Yeah,
This is the way she's had to be because of the things people put her through. And you can get that hard exterior sometimes.
absolutely.
You know,
I've
but
lived through my own life.
it's a defense mechanism.
Yes, it is a
And
defense.
so, but
So I just personally wanted to thank Jody Sue for coming here and
oh,
talking to
oh,
you for as long as she did because
yeah, I
that.
truly appreciate it. I truly appreciated her coming
Mm-hmm.
up and spending time to answer questions and actually, talk about Summer and and so forth and
Because
so on. And
I think she said a lot more things with you, PG, than she's ever done with anybody else. And that's a lot for her to come here and do that.
exactly, because me and Jody Sue, me and Jody Sue ain't had the best relationship out here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But and it's took us a long time to get where we are now. But we're all bonded as one for Summer.
And
You
we're
and you so
and we're
well,
all and we're all sick of the bullshit.
and we absolutely are. And um, Jody Sue went through a lot.
I know she did.
I've been through a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
she's been through a hell of a lot too. And, these people, these fake motherfuckers, like Tiffany Marie and them,
Yeah.
act like they played her friend and everything.
Yeah.
And they weren't her friend at all. With friends like that, you don't need no fucking enemies, right?
No, they're vipers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I knew early on that that all was going to come to a, the way it did. I knew that was coming down the pike.
And we
With
know,
that Tiffany Marie, I
yeah,
tell you, I spot bitches like her a mile away, right?
and we all know that, how YouTube likes to play the game. They like to say, well, Jody was just after the land. And I was like, oh my God, people. Like
I'm going to
I,
tell you something. If anybody knows anything about the South, when you're talking about the South,
Mhm.
um, that you're talking about property, baby. And these people, these that is like the main topic and stuff. Um,
They just used Jody Sue as a distraction. She was just another distraction. And she knew the truth. She lived there. That's how I feel about Jody Sue. They use and Don and Andy are BFFs. Meanwhile, Don hates Jody Sue. Oh, I wonder why, Don.
well,
I
I'm going
wonder
to tell
why.
you. I tell you what. When Don Wells, when Don Wells said his, asked there and told me that, all about Andy across the road, this neighbor, and told me about how, Andy was going to, do all of these bad things, to his wife. Well, he told her that, he'd put her in a nut place and claim her to be insane if she doesn't do what he wants her to do.
Yeah, he sounds
And
like a
this
real
and
quitter.
all and I told him, I said, what? I mean, Donald was like, it was funny or something, like he was admiring Andy when he was telling me
Of
about her.
course, because two
And,
abusers will stay together,
and,
PG.
and, and yeah, I said, what? That's fucking mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he seen that, wait a minute, Sissy ain't going along with this laugh. I bet. Oh well, I do feel sorry. I feel really sorry. No, you
Bullshit.
didn't. No, you
Exactly.
didn't. You
Exactly.
envied this motherfucker, and then you know, and then I learned that indeed Jody Sue did know them, and
Mm-hmm.
Andy did know them. And this ain't some neighbor that you think you had something to do with your daughter missing that you didn't. You mother freaking people were like besties. You knew,
Yep.
you guys knew each other's business like it was nobody's business. And so I mean, it's that shit that was pissing me off. Be honest with me. I can handle the truth, but I can't handle a fucking liar. I don't like a liar. And once I figure out you're a liar and that you're trying to mislead me in every damn different direction you possibly can, me and you's going to have a real problem because I'm going to get to the truth anyway, right?
Yeah.
You
And
might as well have told it to me to begin with. And and you could have saved yourself a whole lot of hell and
and
havoc if you would have just been honest.
and Jody was going through a lot health wise, right?
Right.
And people want to down her, saying she knew the truth or whatever. She was dealing with her own issues, her abusive issues. She had children, and if she did not speak up clearly about what she saw, it was probably because everything was being investigated and she could not speak the truth. People
Well,
forget
for
that.
one, Jody Sue knew Child Protective Services already had their asses in there constantly. Why would you want to call what's already coming up on the hill and leaving the kids there?
She said FBI was up there all the time.
And then she, she's sick as she's sick. She's dependent on her children, because she can't depend on that broken stick of a piece of shit she's got, that's also abusing her, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really bad situation for
It was
her,
a bad.
and I'm sure it was a lot more traumatic than, I'm going to tell you, when it's happening to you, you'll know how traumatic it is, right?
You said to her last night, foresight. If you had foresight, that was like the biggest thing that like I got it. Like my light bulb went on. I was like, yeah, I wish she had more foresight, but she was so deep in it, PG, and when you're deep in an abusive
Oh,
relationship.
trust me, I know what
I
it's
do too.
like. I know
I
what it's like.
I do
I
too.
do, I do know what it is like
Mhm.
to truly love someone, and you making all of these excuses for this piece of shit that
Yeah,
don't give a flying fuck about you.
they
You're
mentally
making
have you.
excuses. You are nothing.
Yes.
You are nothing but a Brillo pad for them. You are
Mhm.
nothing but a fucking, you're their support.
Yep.
Everything's about them. And and I do know what it's like to have blinders on, and
Absolutely.
absolutely. I think we all know what it's like to have blinders off, and we know how painful it is to have to pull them blinders off and tell
It's
that
very.
person that don't let the door hit you in the fucking ass.
Can I
Because
say something?
sometimes,
Go fuck off.
right, what I'm saying is, it's not so, yeah, okay, a boyfriend, that's easy. That's easy. I could give a boyfriend a steel toe boot in the fucking ass with no
Hell yeah.
problem at all.
Mhm.
Bitch, you ain't got my blood in you. Of
Nope.
course. I could probably have gave my husband a good steel toe boot in a fucking ass, because he has no my blood in him either. But I'm going to tell you something. It ain't so easy to boot your brother in the ass. It's not so easy to boot your sister in the ass. It ain't so easy to boot your fucking children in the ass, or your aunt or uncle in the ass, because these are people that have been around you ever since you were born. These are people that you have grown to love.
Mhm.
You have
I
actually, these are
I
people that are
I
part of your world, and you thought they always would be. And, and to find out that, this son of a bitch is better off out of your life, it's super hard to do that. It is, but
It's
sometimes you got to
100%
do it.
it. Yes. But I think that, the good old YouTube let's hate Jody Sue don't know the fucking facts. They want to call her a liar. They want to call her that she didn't do this. You don't know what she's lived through. I don't know
Right,
what she's lived through. I've lived through
right.
my own experience, and I know what I've lived through, and I know damn sure that the abuser takes a hold on you and you cannot get out. You
I'm going to
cannot get
tell you
out.
something. I'm going to tell you something. There is people in this world. There is people in this world that that you would have died for. You'd have stepped in front. You would have stepped in front
Yes. Yes.
of you'd have stepped in front of that fucking bus,
Yep.
right? For
Yep.
them.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you something, man. When you have to come to realization that they wouldn't have stepped in front of that bus for you. Matter of fact, that motherfucker's been the one trying to push you in front of that bus. They've been trying to push you in front of it. That's hard. That is really super hard,
Mhm.
especially when it's your own family,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Or especially when it's someone you really care about and you love. I
You
mean,
love
how would you
somebody.
like to
Yeah.
how would you like to wake up tomorrow morning and find out that your spouse has actually been sitting booby traps, hoping it'll be your last fall.
Yeah.
How would you like that?
I've
How would you
lived it.
like that?
I've
And how
lived it.
much worse? And how much worse would it be? How much worse would it be if it was, per se, your brother, your sister, or somebody you thought you was super close to?
I've lived
right?
it. Yep. It's devastating. It's
I mean, there
devastating.
are some evil motherfuckers in this
Mm-hmm.
world. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, you got to be careful. You got to be careful in this world. And um, for me, it does not shock me in the least. It does not shock me in the least. I mean, it doesn't shock me at all that the Wells did something sinister. It don't
Mm-hmm.
shock me.
No, it
I
just
mean,
kills.
I,
It just.
I
It
actually
just.
actually suspected they would. I
It
really
kill.
do.
It kills me when Don bashes Jody, but he's a-okay with Andy. He's my
Man,
gal.
how do you think little Summer felt? How do you think little Summer felt when the very fucking people she had trusted her
It's.
whole 5 years to love and be with her deceived her on June 15th,
I can't.
2021?
I can't even
How do
imagine.
you think that little, Don loves to think that Summer's going to say, oh, let me play it for you. Let me play it for you.
Spirit, fun, loving, forgiving. Um, I remember one time I took her to a job site, and I wasn't. it was actually a really nice log cabin home, and I wasn't thinking about the railing not being completely finished outside. And she run outside. My wife brought lunch out there and stuff like that. And we was eating, and she run outside, and she turned around, and there wasn't no railing there to catch her, and so she fell off about the third or fourth step and hit the ground. And she was crying. She says, "Daddy, why didn't you save me?" I said, "I'm sorry, Summer. I'm sorry. I didn't know." And she says, "That's okay, Daddy." That's what kind of spirit she is.
It makes him feel better.
Yeah.
It makes him feel better to believe his daughter's this kind of spirit because he needs to feel that seeing that he betrayed the fucking hell out of her on June 15th, 2021. Right, Donald? Well,
Don and Candace, you
I
both
don't think
deserve
that
summer.
Summer, I do not think that Summer would feel that way. I think Summer is in tears and her little heart's completely broken that you're
Absolutely.
such a dirty, scrummy ass son of a bitch, and that your old lady is a scummy ass fuck just like you. That's what I think. I think this little girl could not believe that the two people supposed to love her the most in this world was able
Abandon
to
her.
fuck her over the way
Yep.
they have and they've
Yep.
done,
They did.
and not even give a damn about finding her or looking for her or doing anything on her behalf. I'm going to
Never
tell
did.
you something. You keep believing what you believe, Don Wells. You keep believing what you need to
You
believe. But I'm
you
going
ain't
to tell
fooling
you,
us.
you ain't fooling nobody but your fucking self.
Yep. And that
Nobody but
devil
yourself.
inside.
I'm going to tell you what. Your daughter, when your day comes, which your old ass is probably going to be not long, but when your old ass meets your maker, I'm sure your little girl's going to be standing there, and I'm going to tell you what. She's going to say the same thing that more than likely the Lord is going to say. We don't know you. We don't know you. That's what you're going to hear, Don Wells. You're not going to hear, oh, daddy, I forgive you. She's going to say, I don't know you. And you know why, Don Wells? Because she didn't.
Nope.
She didn't, did she?
She put all her trust in
She
him.
didn't know you. You're
She.
fucked up.
Yep.
You are fucked up in so many damn ways. It's unbelievable.
Yep. I agree with
That's
you.
all I got to say about that. And
I agree.
this log cabin, he says, oh, Candace brought lunch out there. It sounds like the cabin that's real close to the house. Probably the same cabin he's talking about right
So
here.
the
Yeah.
footprints. Okay, if you go out on Ben Hill Road and you go west, so you go past our property all the way to the end, and you get down a little ways west up this way. There's a dirt road. I can't remember the name of the road, but you
Father
turn
of the
left into
year.
that, and you'll see a bunch of no trespassing signs and all that. You follow the dirt road, and it takes you all the way up on top of that hill up there, which overlooks our property. When you're up
Oh,
there,
God.
when you're up there, you can look down on our property and see our house. You're looking down on our house, and we live on a hill, so it's pretty high hill.
Is that where Summer is?
So there's an unfinished cabin up there. This is the way TBI explained it to me. There's an unfinished cabin up there, and it rained like 2 or 3 days before Summer come up missing.
Right.
So they found a footprint around an unfinished cabin, and I went up there and I looked everywhere, and I don't know what they're talking about, an unfinished cabin. I found a trailer. I found 2 trailers, and the other property I was kind of scared to go up around, but
you don't know.
But I
nothing.
looked everywhere, and I asked them if I could see the casting, but they wouldn't never let me see the cast that they made.
You don't know nothing when it comes to
so
your
they
daughter,
found a
Don.
set of
So where was
footprints
the other
there.
one?
Okay, the dog hid on that footprint there. Okay, and then if you come back down out of the hill and you come back down towards Beach Creek, they found footprints there. And that's the only 2 sets of footprints that I'm aware of that they told me about.
Mm.
Now, that's a lie. The footprint was around the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the way up on the hill where a cabin is. That's not true. That's not true, Don. You know it. The footprint was found between the 2 neighbors, which one was the old lady goat and her daughters, and then the guy that actually I think just passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was more on his property than it was on Lady Goat's, but the kids were out there running around the night before all over the place like little hooligans, because Donald, Candace, Grandis, Jody Sue, and Andy were all down there talking about Mr. Dobbs, and the kids were all down on the road running in every direction. So that footprint could have been from then. And then down the road, I mean, there's like that road is very, very few traveled. What I'm saying is, unless you live in there, you really don't come in there.
You're not going there, right?
Right. And late in the evening after work and everybody's already in there, that road's pretty clear. So it wouldn't, I wouldn't doubt a lick if even the boys might have been down there riding dirt bikes and, rode her down through there, was turning around, maybe, the bike, sometimes because it was 1 foot. And we know that motorbikes like that tip, right? And when they tip, your foot will touch the ground to help catch. Then you go back up on the motorbike.
It's only
going to leave 1 footprint.
That's correct.
So they could have been down there riding the motorbikes, and Summer, when the boys went to
when they tilted over,
turned, her foot could have went down on the ground along with hers because she got a little scared too to keep the bike up in the air.
Yeah.
So, it makes perfect sense that's why it's 1 foot. And, and they was all down there partying the night before. So, I'm not going to make anything really out of those footprints. What I am going to make is the fact that Jody Sue heard that Suburban going up that damn driveway at 5:30, and there is evidence. Candace came out twice, and Donald did sit there and say that Summer was changed in the back of the Suburban, as if he was staring at it and knew for a fact that it did go down. When at the swimming hole, they were in Grandis's vehicle, so he couldn't have seen that going down because he wasn't there. So that day he saw that Suburban, and he saw Summer getting her clothes changed in it. And I think that's the day they handed her off to whoever they handed her off to. And I'm sure Don would have wanted to be there because that's probably when he was going to get everything that he's supposed to get at the same time.
Yeah.
So, he ain't gonna let him give Candace the stuff because I don't think he trusts this Candace like that. Right? He don't strike me as the type that would trust Candace, you know, anything going into Candace's hands.
No,
Absolutely.
right, and I agree with that. I think that they met up. Uh, the mom gave Summer to Dad, and he took care of the niece, whatever that is.
And and that could be, and that could explain this weirdo that's out here that's been going from chat to chat to chat, watching over the, people that's into this kind of stuff. Trust me, they're, not all of them. What I'm saying is, not a lot of them. It's like, here's the thing. If someone does, trust me, if a bank or something, you know, was to get their money took, the people that take it are going to be watching the news, right?
Yeah.
Criminals always are watching.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the trafficking, when it comes to trafficking, um, and I truly believe that's what the Wells have done.
I believe it.
These children are changing hands, when it comes to that.
And it's fast.
And these people that they're changing hands with know their name.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they will be watching this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone to come up on a panel like the one freak,
Mm-hmm.
that isn't, uncommon. That isn't uncommon, for people that, because you ain't right in the head if you do that to begin with, right?
No.
If you traffic a child, you are a special kind of fucking stupid anyway.
Yeah, that's a fucking evil
You
person.
are a special kind of evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was definitely a special kind of stupid and evil, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So one thing before I want to go, PG, is that when you said earlier that his body was taken over by a demon, I have personally seen that myself. When people are in addiction and the evil, I call it the host, takes over the body, you are 100% right. That is not the person Don. I don't know Don prior, but he's not got a good past, obviously. But when that demon takes hold of that body, there is nothing that's gonna let it go because they got a good hold on it. And that demon has taken over Don and Candace.
Well, Don, what I'm saying is, you know,
There's evil in you.
we've all been children. Every last
Mhm.
one of us have been children. A lot of times, adults forget what it was like to be a child. And
Agreed.
that's why a lot of kids suffer because
Mhm.
adults forget it. They can
Mhm.
forget to be compassionate because they were in that child's shoes one time, but they
Mhm.
forgot about that. But the point being is, we've all been children.
Mhm.
And when we're children, we all have had the opportunity, right? We've all had the opportunity to hang with the snobby girls who want to look down and pick on everybody else for you don't
Right.
know what reason, but they
Judgmental.
do.
Mhm.
And then we also, had the choice to hang with the children who those snobbies made feel bad, and they wonder why you're even sitting with them, why you're befriending them, because you can be with the snobby ones, right?
Mhm.
It's your choice. It's your choice. And to feed, you could either fight the sinfulness that you're born in, or
Yep.
you can give into it.
Yep.
Now if you want to give into it and hang with the snobby girls and be mean to the other children and stuff, Well, you can do that. But I didn't choose that. I choose to be with the people that that them kind of kids, didn't want to be with because I felt I was in a lot better company.
Yeah,
Um, with those, I knew who the good hearts were and who the evil
yeah.
ones were.
And the
And
outcast and the outcasted children are
and
the
Don and
evil.
Don Wells he chose to be with the snobby ones, the bad
Mhm.
ones,
Yeah.
the evil ones. That was right up his alley. He wanted to feed the unclean spirit in him. He wanted to let it take hope and flourish in this life, because that's really really who he was as well. And so, but yes, that unclean spirit upon his deathbed will flee, and he will be left to suffer hell for eternity.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's because he could have fled to snobby people and been in the company of good people, but he didn't choose to take that route, did he?
No.
That's his fault, no one else's. I mean, you have a
And it's
choice.
like Don, like PG, Don pretty much way more than I do. I will confess to that. Um, and Don was born in prison. He's been a lifelong criminal. So all the factors that he has gone through in his entire life, he can know where a child is in a hotel that's trying to be HT'd, and who in this chat knows how to do that? I'm pretty sure no one. I'm just going to say. Don has been around this evil, dark entity mostly his entire life, I'm going to say, in my opinion. And he is just sucked up into it. So when this comes back to Summer, that all that past history that people want to deny is in him. It's in him. This is what people don't understand. That dark past that he has lived, even at 42, doing the stupid weirdo panty sniffing crap that he did, it's still in him. It's not gone away. He's not absolved of
Donald,
his sins.
exactly. Donald wasn't talking about June the 15th, Summer wanting to be on a roof. He was talking about June 14th, the night that they were down at the bottom of the property and the kids were all running around.
Hmm.
That's what he was talking about, was the night before,
Do
not
you
June
think
the 15th.
do you think that could have been a possible farewell to summer party?
No, no, I don't think so. Um, to be honest with you, um, I think I truly,
Because it triggered John. It triggered Don when people said that.
I'm going to tell you, you know, law enforcement has a lot more insight on this than we will
Yeah,
ever have.
absolutely. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you
I'm
know, and
speculating.
I'm
I'm
sure, and I'm positive that they know. They wouldn't ask Don Wells, "Did you traffic Summer?" if they didn't have solid evidence to believe so.
hmm
Um, and the feds would have done been out of all of this, like they were, in the Evelyn Boswell case. The
right,
feds wouldn't have stayed in it, and the reason they're still in it's because I think they feel it's trafficked, and so they will keep their hand in it, due to that simple, that one fact
right,
alone.
right.
And I believe that's what happened as well. I truly do. I
I
think it
do
was
too.
pre-planned, premeditated, and now what I what I think Donald was a little concerned about was how to get out of it, how to get it past how to get it
Had to pass the
pinned,
stink
how to
test.
get it pinned upon someone else. Now
Yeah.
he had fired Dudley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And made an enemy out of him to
Mm-hmm.
blame, to
Mm-hmm.
to, to throw all the blame on.
Yeah, he needed a
But
fall guy.
I think if they could have found Mr. Dobbs, I think I think Mr. Dobbs might have been trying to right now I think Mr. Dobbs would have been trying to prove his innocence if they would have found him. I
Mm-hmm.
really think that we would have all been saying, well, how did this, how did her jacket get in your stuff? How
Mm-hmm.
did or her shoe or something
Mm-hmm.
get where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
So, or her footprint where you was. Um, yeah, I think that's what we would have been looking at, folks. So, I at one point, I thought that if they found him, maybe Summer would have still been here. But I don't think so anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
think they truly wanted him in order to, in order to put, to plant something, um, to make it look like he was the one that did something to Summer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I think that's what Dom was going after. Dom wanted something solid,
Right.
right? He wanted
Right.
something solid, um, to take the focus off of their family.
Do
So
you do you think that Fred and Don have a, I'm not going to say friendly relationship, but is there any thought that I think, I'm going to say it's my thought, that Don could be putting Fred up to saying all these crazy things about a waterfall? Is there any possible way that you can think that's possible?
um no,
No.
no.
Okay.
I know someone else that possibly could.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention their name, but
No, don't
I know
mention it.
someone else that I got suspicion on.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is
so,
the shit I keep myself up at night. I know the creators, like what happened to you, PG. God bless your soul. I know it broke your heart today, and I don't blame your heart to be broken for Summer. My heart was broken for you and Justin's. I know the creators take the brunt of it, and these are the questions, like I sit up at night, not having a channel, not being able to ask the questions. That's why.
but you also let us also remember that Candace Wells was supposedly getting dick by Cotton, right?
That's what they say. Yeah.
So, how do we know that Cotton wasn't, there's a possibility that, Cotton was somehow, you know, involved. Maybe he was the guy in the house Don Wells was talking to when the picture got took, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were corresponding on what they were going to do with Summer. I mean, for all I know, Cotton could have been the one standing there.
In
Cotton could have been the one that that um
the middle
that
the
would make.
middleman.
He could have been. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I have no idea.
Right. Right. And that's why I come to you, DP, because I know you've been. I talked to Justin. He doesn't have an open panel, and that's okay. And I love Justin, so I'm not hating on Justin. But I come up on your panel because I know that you know from day one what's going on, and I just so appreciate you. And I'm so sorry what happened to you, my love, because we know this case is surrounded by evil. Anybody with eyes can see it. And it just, I don't blame you for keeping that loser up on your panel, that demonic force that was here last night. I just couldn't watch it. I clicked off. I literally said a prayer for Summer, as I do every night. And I really thank you because you did bring your David out last night. You did do the right thing, PG. And I am not, would never hate on you. If I ever had a problem with you, PG, I'd tell you straight up. That's the kind of woman I am. I know that you're here for Summer. I know it in my soul. I know everybody in this chat is here for Summer. just like Justin's chat. Everybody here is for Summer, and it is an army, and we will stand until we get justice for her because we
Absolutely.
really do love her. Her parents, and if we turned our backs as a community from your channel, from Justin's channel, what's justice for Summer look like? There will be none. There will be none. And she'll be failed again. And we cannot let these demonic forces do that to us. We cannot. We cannot do that.
Right. Absolutely. You know, I think, for the a majority of us, for a majority of us out here, we are for Summer.
Mm-hmm.
We are her army.
Mm-hmm.
We are for the true victims. We
Mm-hmm.
are on the righteous path. God knows it. We know it. And we're doing all we can to get the truth, to bring this little girl home and get the justice she deserves against the bastards that did this to her.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also, I find, a large majority as well that are sinister,
Yeah.
and they haven't ever had the victim's best interests at heart. What
Mm-hmm.
they've had at heart was their own interest, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and they have done everything they can to put as much hate, as much pressure, and even as much fear on the ones that they could, to try to shut them down from even speaking of Summer.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
didn't want Summer's story told
Nope.
of what happened to her June 15th, 2021, because they seen Summer's story as a cash cow that
Yep.
they needed to keep locked in a safe so they could keep banking off of it, right?
Yep.
And you know, like I said, I think we could have had this case solved early on if these people would have been righteous,
Yep.
if they really would have been with God
They don't know
instead
what
in-
righteous is.
instead of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
If they really would have had a heart instead of a motherfucking ice cube in their chest, you know. But it is what it is. Don't
Mm-hmm.
think God didn't know. Don't think God didn't see that evil coming to do what it done.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing people, evil humans like that do is let God's children see miracles happen.
Mm-hmm. And
That's what they do. They allow
exposing
they
the
allow
truth.
God's children to see miracles happen when the whole truth gets pulled to the light,
Yep.
and Summer's story gets told anyway.
Yep.
Um, and it
It
will,
will.
because but God lets the evil run rampant so that they can just pile the coals upon their own heads, right?
Yep. And
So you know when they're done piling the coals upon their head, you know all the coals upon their own heads, then God will move. Then God will move
mm-hmm.
and let this case be solved. Trust me. Maybe them evil people haven't stacked up all the coals needed under their backside, right?
Yep.
Maybe they need to stack up some more. I don't know. I don't question God. I don't question I don't question the why. I don't have to, because God knows, and that's good enough for me.
Yep, he
That's
does.
good enough for me. I will just keep being here, and I will continue to pray, and I will continue to do all I can do to help bring the truth to the light. And I think that, we've done one hell of a job,
Amen.
you know, getting to where we are already. I mean, I think we have pretty much put the puzzle together, right?
Yep.
We ain't got all the answers,
Nope.
but I think we got the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
We know who to put the focus on in all of
We're
this.
we're closing in.
Absolutely. And law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement's closing in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Trust, if we're closing in, they are definitely closing in.
Mm-hmm. And they
So,
feel it.
Don and Candace Wells really need to be shaking in their boots. That's what they really need to be doing, is shaking in their boots, because you know what? Their days are numbered. They're numbered in this little girl getting justice
Yep.
for what they have done. Now Don can sit back and and he can try to feel comfortable. He could try to feel comfortable, you know,
He doesn't feel
saying
comfortable. Trust me, he does not
saying,
feel comfortable.
my daughter's, forgiving soul. This is how she is. Um, I'm sorry to tell Don Wells, your daughter ain't the one going to be judging you, motherfucker.
Nope.
Your daughter ain't going to be judging you, Donald. God is, and law enforcement is. And you
Yep.
know what? Um, they're not a little kid. They know, what you did was wrong. And I'm going to tell you something. One thing I know for sure, I'm going to tell you, perverts like Don Wells make me sick. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why they make me sick: because they're uneducated as fucking hell. They don't realize that, you know what? You mess with a kid, and one day you're going to be facing an adult.
Yep.
It might be a kid today, but one day it's going to be a grown ass adult looking you in the face. And Don Wells, your boys are going to, you might think you got rid of your daughter, look you in the face.
Those
But you
boys are
got
coming.
three sons
Yep.
that's going
Those
to be
boys are
looking
gonna
you in
come.
the face as grown ass men, and they're going to be knowing what the fuck you are.
Just
How
like
does that
Candace.
make
Just like Candace's older daughter.
his old ass feel? How does
Mm-hmm.
that make his old ass feel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These children are not going to be children forever.
Nope.
They're going to grow into adults. And I'm
PG,
going to
that's what I
tell you,
used to say to my ex-husband. I said, "Do you
a
hear?"
lot of these kids growing into adults, a lot
Yes.
of these kids growing into adults
Yes.
might just end your fucking pervert ass.
Mm-hmm.
They might just decide to end you. One day they're going to be able to end you, and they may do that. I'd be careful about being a sicko.
I agree with you, PG. I've lived in dysfunction with my father's the father of my children, and yes, I was married to him, and I just saw the deterioration of my family that I had to stand up for. I come hell or high water. My children are my children, and I stuck up for them with every ounce of my being. I did not sit
Right.
by and let evil come into my children. It was never going to happen. And thank the Lord, because I do believe in Jesus and I do believe in God, that would never enter my children's soul. And they are thriving.
I can give people the best advice I can give parents in this world, any human, whether actually any human. Let it be the parent, let it be the child, let it be anybody. Let me tell you something. In this life, you better depend on three people. Three people. Yourself, God Almighty, and his
Yep.
son Jesus Christ. If you try to depend on other humans, you think you can depend on your parents, you're wrong.
It's a big
You think
fail.
you can depend on your children, you're wrong. People do not like to be depended on. Humans do not like to be depended on. I mean, yeah, they might help you here and they might help you there, right?
But
But
they
if you
have their
become
own agenda.
but if you become a burden, you
Mm-hmm.
are now leaning on a broken stick.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to take care of anyone 24/7. Nobody wants to take care of nobody 24/7. That is why you teach your children to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you need to take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Be smart and don't rely on no one but you.
That's right.
Let your business be your business. Your business ain't your kid's business. It
Mm.
ain't your husband's business. It ain't your parents' or your siblings' business. It's your business. Learn to do you and know that you got God and Jesus and you need no one else. And you'll be a
Exactly.
lot happier in this life. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you start depending on people, that's when people start seeing you as weak also. And that's when they will start using you.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful about, you know, depending on folks. Like I said, they'll flee if you start needing them too much. And the ones that don't flee will stick around to suck you dry.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, this is not good to depend on people.
Nope.
Depend on you and let others depend on them. It's okay to be there for people, but they're not your burden. Everyone is their own burden.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say, you need to carry your cross. You're not supposed to, God didn't tell you to carry anyone else's cross.
Right. It's
He
your
said,
own
help.
cross to bear.
He
Yep.
said, he said that we are to help one another
Yeah.
if it gets too heavy, but we are not supposed to carry no one else's cross.
That's
You
right.
got to carry your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, every so often, you got to set it down.
Yep.
You got to set it down and rest and pick it back up because it gets heavy. It can get very heavy, right?
Just like
And
it did
and
with
and how
Candace.
and how do you get that cross lightened up? How do you get that burden lifted? Your kids can't lift it.
Nope.
Your parents can't lift it. Nobody on the face of this earth can lift that heavy burden but one person, right?
Yep.
And
And
that's
that's the
God
son.
Almighty through Jesus Christ. When you want that big heavy burden lifted, the only way to do it is to fall on your knees and beg the Lord to get it lightened up off of you in the name of Jesus Christ, right? You're
Yes.
you're you're like, you're straight talking to God. You're straight talking to God. You're in that Bible. You're looking for, that's who you run to. Why? Because you know that's the only one that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have seen people, that say, I don't want to hear about the Bible. I don't want this. And then something happens and they're like, pray for me.
Right.
I've been praying. I've been doing,
Right.
why you run to God? Why you run to God like that? Um, and expect him to be there for you,
Mm-hmm.
which he is. But how do
But
you think that makes God feel? How does
butterfly
it make
kiss.
God feel that when you're feeling all, you wake up with all that good health and everything and both feet dancing the floor across the floor and you're all good. You don't even think about that Bible. You don't think about praying. You don't think about nothing, right?
I
God's
do.
thinking about you. But I'm not saying for, everyone. I'm saying for these people who say, I don't want to hear about the Bible. I don't
Right.
want to hear about this
Right.
and that. You know, I'm talking about these people.
Okay.
But you know, as soon as something happens to them, they're all praying and they're and wanting to go to church and they're wanting, all these things. I'm going to tell you, you should be like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying is, humans down here. You think God and Jesus ain't got feelings? You
Mm-hmm.
think that it doesn't break Jesus's heart to know he went through all he did so that so you could live forever, and you're sitting there um bucking it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it don't break his heart to feel like everything he did was in vain for a bunch of stiff-necked humans?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it doesn't break his heart every time you do something evil or bad? When he hung on that cross, well, I'm gonna tell you what, it's breaking Jesus' heart, but it's pissing God off, because God says, "Look, I sent my son, and
Mm-hmm.
you stiff-necked people, you're going to go where you deserve to be when this is all said and done." Because
Oh yeah.
it was painful for me to watch what happened on that cross. I had to turn my head away,
Mm-hmm.
and for you to not respect that and not do what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to pay for that wrath. Trust and
Mm-hmm.
believe me. It just is what it is.
It is. If you don't
So,
have faith, if you don't have God in your life, Jesus was a beautiful soul. If you don't believe in any of those things, you are a lost soul.
I'm going to tell you
And I
something.
cannot stand, PG, that family, the Wells, hide behind the church. I cannot stand it. It's an abomination of the Lord, and I cannot stand it. I just can't. I can't do it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the Bible says, actually, it says that, that God loves the whole world. He loved
Hmm.
you so much that he gave his only begotten son so that you could have eternal life through him. God doesn't like to see anyone perish,
No.
right? He doesn't like to see anyone perish. God doesn't like seeing anyone in hell, but they made
Hmm.
the choice to be there.
They did.
So we cannot blame God for anything when we're making the wrong choices, right?
Hmm.
I'm not going to sit around and blame God for nothing. Oh, why didn't God make me rich?
Right.
Why didn't God do this? Why didn't God do, why don't you get up off your backside and make yourself rich? Why don't you work 2 or 3 jobs? If you want to be rich, why don't you work and invest your money and do things to make yourself become that way, right?
Hmm.
God
Hmm.
gave you everything you needed. He gave you everything you needed to become that way. Why should he just give you anything? What do you give him? You don't even give him the 10 Commandments he told you to follow. You don't even give him the respect to do that. Why should
Hmm.
he give you everything for nothing?
Yep.
You don't work, you don't eat. Empty mouth, a shut mouth don't get fed, right?
Hmm.
It just is what it is.
Well, my final words are to the Wells, and they are not of the light. They will never be of the light. But Summer was of the light, and those three boys were of the light. And if they think they stomped out Summer's light, she will never be stomped out of the light. She will always live with everybody that has followed her. Summer was a
You know,
light
Jody
too.
Sue. Jody Sue said something very disturbing last night. She said Don Wells said, and Don said this out in public, and he said it to me as well. And I believe Jody Sue when she said he said it. Don Wells, and I had a big problem with it. Matter of fact, I think I did a live on it, you know, about him saying he has said many times how he's worried that Summer ain't gonna make it because, you know, he, even when he was talking to the news person, well, I'm afraid that she ain't going to be able to, you know, worship
Mhm.
God and do the, you know, like he's worried for her soul.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, listen, Dom Wells, she was 5 years old,
Yep.
just like your stepsister.
Yep.
The person going to hell, buddy, is you, not
Yep.
your daughter. I just want to clarify that for you tonight before I leave out of here.
Yep.
I just want to clarify for you that it's fucking you.
Yep.
You are the problem, Mr. Wells. You are the one. You know, there's nothing wrong with Jeannie at all, Mr. Wells. Nothing wrong with her. The only thing Jeannie needs to understand is it wasn't ever about her. It was all about fucking you. And
Mhm.
she doesn't need to let you suck up any more of her life than you fucking already have. And when she
Amen.
understands that, then she'll move forward with a beautiful life. You are the one that are going to Hades, motherfucker. That's all I got to say.
I pray for all the Wells victims because, you know, that's
And
what
with
they
that
were.
being said, you know, I'm going to end this live tonight. PG is tired. You know, it's been trying
Yeah.
over the last 2 days, to say the least. You know, the weirdo from last night, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he was not part of the icicle trickling down
Mhm.
from what these fuckers have done.
Mhm.
So that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I mean, this I looked into this guy, and he meets all the criteria of being into trafficking.
Oh yeah.
That's all I have to say. You know, and you know, so it's not going to shock me if you know he isn't questioned and more comes to light upon this case.
I
It
just want
wouldn't
to
shock
say
me.
I want to say one thing before I'll drop down and let you finish up. I just want to say I will be following Summer Wells until the gavel drops on this motherfucker who took her and did whatever they did to her. I am going to be there for every step of the way until we have a conclusion to where Summer and what happened to Summer, because we cannot accept this as a society that our children just vanish. It's an epidemic and we cannot stand for it anymore. In God's name, He needs to help us. These children are innocent. She had her whole life to live, and evil will not enter here anymore. He will not enter. God will not let it enter. PG, I love you and I have so much respect for you and the chat and everybody who loves Summer. Keep fighting for her. We cannot stop. That's what they want. We cannot stop for Summer. We will get justice for her no matter how long it takes, no matter how long we get annoyed. We will have justice for her. And I love you all. And I pray for you, PG. I pray for everybody in the chat. We have all the right intentions. We love you, Summer. You will be found and you will have justice, sweet baby. You will. Thank you, PG. I hope you have a blessed evening. Get some rest. It's well needed.
You too, sweetie, and prayers going up for you as well.
Thank you, honey. Have a good night, love.
God bless. Much love. I'm going to tell you, this case has been very overwhelming for so many humans. I have to say that. But you know what? We're going to continue on, right? We're going to keep that suit of armor on. We're going to keep those steel-toed boots on. And we're going to keep doing what it takes until this baby is found, brought home, and justice is served. Absolutely. Absolutely. It breaks my heart to hear people cry like she did on her way out of here. But it don't break the heart of that bastard sitting up there on the screen. He gets off on that. He thinks that kind of shit's funny. Well, Don Wells, your laughing will come to a halt. Trust and believe me, your laughing will come to a halt. That's for sure. Listen, everybody, as I ask every night, please, please, please keep those prayers going up for little Summer. Please keep the prayers going up for her. If you have not hit that like button, please hit the like button. It's not for PG. It's for Summer. I truly believe that she can see from heaven. Like we see the stars, she can see those lights. And I want her to feel loved. I want her to know she is loved. It's free and it's for her. Please smack that like button so that this little girl knows how many people love and truly care about her. That's why I ask. Keep those prayers going up for her. I know God's answering. I know He is. You know, I know it's hard. It's hard to hold, faith in this because it's been going so long. But we cannot lose faith. We have to hold on to it. We got to know God loves us and He's going to answer. And I truly know He does. So please keep those prayers going up for Summer Moon, Utah Wells, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Please. I'm saying please. Keep those prayers going up for one another as well. I don't know what everybody in this chat needs, but God does. And I know that God answers prayers. And no is an answer. And if no is the answer, it just means God's got something better for you. Trust and believe that. And you'll find that out if you just give it a chance. You'll know it too. So please, keep them prayers going up. Keep your faith. And as I said, I don't know what everyone wants. God does. And I pray that He answers all of our prayers in the name of His Son, Jesus Christ. And yes, I am saying amen. Because I have just prayed for each and every one of us in here. Each and every one of us. And I pray for Summer diligently. So please, join me and pray for her as well. I'm going to say good night. God bless and much love.